Good evening. It's time for the Advanced Drum Groove. So, I hope you all have been following along so far with the beginner and the intermediate. The advanced just starts to build upon what we've been doing with those. The tricky parts here, we're going to be adding in some ghost notes on the snare. We're throwing in some more 16th notes on the kick drum, particularly leading into each new measure. You're going to have to play three hits on the kick, back-to-back 16th notes. Instead of in the intermediate, we were just doing doubles together. So that, throwing in the ghost notes, we've got a little more of an offbeat groove on the ride. All these make it a little more advanced. So let's hop into this thing. So similar to the intermediate, by the way, if y'all haven't got the exercises yet, I have the PDF attached to the video. Just click the link, it should take you right to it. That way you can follow along with what we're doing. We've got beginner, intermediate, and advanced all on the same page. Just go to the very bottom of the page to find the advanced one. Okay, so the advanced, similar to the intermediate. The first measure is going to be right hand on the hat. The second measure is going to go to the ride. Then we're going to go back to the hat for the third measure, back to the ride for the fourth, plus we have a fill on the fourth measure. So we're just practicing going back and forth, hat to ride, back and forth. Let's just cover that that pattern with the right hand in the second measure. So when we get to the ride, we're going to be playing every third 16th note. So if we're clapping it out, it's going to be 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 4 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So on the ride, 1, 2, 3, 4. Just for a little more context, I'll show you what that sounds like with the snare on 2 and 4. Okay, so that's the hand pattern in that second measure. Let's cover the kick pattern. So the kick pattern is going to stay the same through all the measures. So once you get down one measure of it, you'll pretty much have it. The tricky part, like I said earlier, is mastering those 3 16th notes on the kick back to back when going into the new measure. So let's clap out the kick pattern here. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E. I'm going too fast. Let's slow down. We should always slow down. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and. So again, just for a little context, I'll play on the hat while we do the kick pattern. And I'm going to get my metronome going. 80 beats per minute here. Okay, there's our kick pattern. Now let's go over these ghost notes with the snare. So first measure, we have 2 ghost notes. In the second measure, we have a few more to worry about. Let's cover that first measure first here. So our first ghost note is on the and of 1. We play a true note on 2. And then our next ghost note is on the E of 3, and then just a Roman note on 4. So let me show you on the hat, because I know that my mic isn't the best for capturing the snare. So I'll show you. By the way, a ghost note, if you're not familiar, just means you're playing at a lower volume. I think of it as just trying to barely tap whatever you're playing, whether it's the snare or the hat. It's not a full normal stroke that you'd normally do. When you're playing it and it's back to back with a normal note, it might sound like you're actually hitting an accented note for your normal note, but that's really not the way it should be. Ghost note's just a much lighter, lower volume note. So a ghost note would be this, and then a normal. Okay, so our ghost note, let's just count this out. I'll play it on the hat as we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and on the snare 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, let's just put that together for the first measure here, and then we'll cover a little more in that second measure. So that was just the first measure, looping over and over. All right, second measure, let's cover those ghost notes. So again, we are playing a ghost note on the and of 1. Our next ghost note is on the E of 2, but we're still playing our normal note on 2. So you're gonna have to do a quick little normal ghost. I think about it as just trying to bounce that stick, but then I'm not actually giving any force into that second motion, so I get just a tap for the ghost note. So just for those first 2 beats, we've got 1 and 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1. And then for beats 3 and 4, we're going to be ghosting on 3, on the and of 3, normal note on 4, and then we ghost the last 2 16th notes of the 4th beat. So we've got a 3, 3 and 4, and sorry, I didn't play what I said. 3 and 4 and 3 and 4 and the way I'm playing in the full groove, I'm actually bringing in my right hand to play that first ghost note of that last one. You can do that, or you can play them both with the left. So you could just go 3 and 4 and 3 and 4 and okay, on the snare, 3, 3. Let's throw all that together. So this is just me looping through the second measure of the advanced drum groove. If any of you are just now tuning in, you can check out these exercises. The PDF is attached to this video. Let me try something real quick. I'm going to see if I can lighten up. Oh, there we go. I don't know if that changed anything on y'all's end, but it made things a little brighter from what I can see. So hopefully you can see the snare and all this here a little better. Okay, we're going to play through that second measure, just looping through it over and over. I'm at 80 beats per minute. So we've gone over the first measure, we've gone over the second measure. Let's just practice playing back and forth between those, because that's essentially what the groove is. We're just throwing a fill on top of it on that 4th measure. let's master those grooves, just going back and forth first, and then we'll cover the fill. So back on 80 beats per minute, we're just practicing going between that first and second measure. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now let's talk about that fill. Similar to the intermediate groove, the fill is only going to be on beats 3 and 4 of that final measure. So you're still going to play the first half of that last measure as you were on the ride. So you're basically going to play the part. Okay. Once we get to beat 3, that's when we'll start the fill. I'm just going to play the full thing for you here. One more time. Okay. And one more time. All right, so the fill, this thing rides like, or rings like no other. So the fill, we're playing all 16th notes. We've got 3 hits on the snare, 1 on the kick, 1 on the snare, floor tom, mid tom, kick. The first and third hit on the snare drum will be ghosted. So that's going to be a and then from there, none of the other notes will be ghosted. So here's the full fill. Remember, we're starting on 3. So 1, 2, 1, 2. All right. And I'm just going to cycle through the fill a few times. I was practicing this earlier, and this was just fun. It kind of makes a beat on its own. So that's just looping through that fill. If we take that a little faster, it starts to sound pretty cool. Anyway, that's me going off on a tangent there. It's just fun to do. And now let's play the full thing. So we're going to put it all together here. We're playing all through, including the fill. I'm going to do it on 80 beats per minute first, then we'll bump it up to 90, then to 100. Honestly, once I get past 100, I get a little sloppy. We might try it around 105, 110, just to see how it goes. 80 beats per minute, advanced drum groove. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's take it to 90. 1, 2, 3, 4. 100 beats per minute. And I fell apart a little bit there. So we're not going to push it past 100. Okay, and now for the really cool part. I designed all the challenges for the week to flow one into the other. So we're going to start with the beginner, flow into the intermediate, flow into the advanced, and then back to the beginner. I'm going to start this one at 80 beats per minute. Again, we're just starting from the top with the beginner. If you've looked at that PDF, they're all lined up one after the other. I'm going to be playing through each one twice. So we'll play through the full beginner drum groove twice, intermediate twice, advanced twice, and then we'll start back over at the beginner. All right, let's have some fun here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to do that again at 100 beats per minute, just playing through the entire flow of everything. It's really good practice to just be switching it up between these different complexities, and it's just fun. So let's go at 100 beats per minute, starting from the top, just flowing beginner, intermediate, advanced. 1, 2, 3, 4. And there you have it. That's the flow for the week, the weekly drum groove challenge. Hope y'all are practicing this thing and enjoying it. Be sure to give me any feedback. If you have any questions, be sure to comment on the video. I will be posting this up permanently on the page. I know we're live right now, but I want this to just be there forever. For anyone who's working through these, or even if you're looking at these a month from now, a year from now, it's always going to be there. I'm also going to put these up on YouTube, so if you are watching on YouTube, feel free to comment and leave any questions you have on there as well. I hope everyone's doing well, and I'll see y'all next time. I'm going to start working on next week's challenge. Take care.